Welcome back to another episode of One Shot, One Quill. Put your hand in this bag of spaghetti blindly, and I'm going to tell you it's brains. I said I was going to do a haunted house for the next one, and I'll be honest.
Did you?
Now that the mystique's been pulled away, just check back 2 weeks ago. Well, now that everyone saw it coming, though, I really don't have the heart in it. So, speaking of which, touch this sirloin behind this curtain, and I'll tell you that it's a dog heart. Ben,
this is whoa. Slow down,
Ben. That's you. You're Ben, and
I am
me.
Ben.
I'm Spencer.
This intro has gone
The best.
I don't want to say off the rails because I feel like I was just sitting, on my porch and suddenly a train just plowed through my house and I live nowhere near the train tracks.
You would say you've been bludgeoned upside the head with the rails?
I don't think the rails ever existed to begin with.
Ben, what is this show? What do we do here? Because I don't know if anybody would guess based on the last couple minutes.
I mean, it's been 3 weeks, but I will try my best to remember. This is a show in which we take a random premise for a tabletop role-playing game, one shot. We throw it together with 2 random items, also for tabletop role-playing one-shots, and then we mish and mash them together. I always say that. Do you think I should go for something different? Or is this...
No, I'm thinking Misha Mash'em is kind of like a one shot, one quill verb. So, we've done it.
Yeah, we mish and mash them together, and then at the end of it, we have something that we hope will be useful.
Well, let's start with the premise.
Yeah.
What do we got?
Well, Spencer, for a premise, how does an 11 suit you?
Hopefully slim. Everything's too baggy on me. An elder entity from beyond space and time has been watching our adventurers for quite some time and finds their actions of chaotic heroics highly amusing. So much so, it decides to kidnap them and have them run through a dungeon of terror and geometric madness for its entertainment, promising 3 wishes to the victor. Victor being singular.
Interesting.
I love it. So it's a little extra-dimensional gauntlet.
I mean, it's pretty straightforward as far as I don't have much to say about it. I think we need to just go into items.
Yeah, roll me up. What do you got?
Another 11, if you'll believe it.
I don't, but 11 is a turtle monk who is considered practically a vegetable by his peers, but is actually lightning quick in reflexes when the time is right.
Well, wait, I just realized that it says when the time is right. So this is not, he looks like he's not doing anything, but he's actually always doing. This is a Grandpa Joe or whatever from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, where he acts like he can't walk, but then the moment someone's like, "Hey, Grandpa Joe, I've got this golden ticket," he's like, "Actually, I've been pretending to be paraplegic for decades."
Is that child exploitation?
I know I've been making everybody make me potato soup for a while, but now I gotta walk to the chocolate factory. Yippee.
Slave daughter, put down my gruel and get me my shoes.
By the way, it was my idea that we all sleep a foot to head, because I'm a weird pervert. This has been the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory ripping point of the show.
Thank God we finally... I don't think anybody in the history of podcasts or the internet in general has really taken a minute to disparage Grandpa Joe for being a piece of shit. Thank God for our originality.
We're the first people to ever notice any of those things, for sure.
Have I ever mentioned that sometimes Mario ingests mushrooms and it would be funny if those were like drug mushrooms?
Wow.
Just other original singers out there. All right, well, let's roll another one then. Let's see what we got.
Now, Spencer, would you believe that I rolled another 11?
I wouldn't.
Yeah,
what am I supposed to do in this case? Do I go up or down?
You're correct. I'm lying. I rolled a 20.
Oh, thank goodness. 20. A painting of a dog that is initially low value and drawn terribly. However, each time the painting is genuinely complimented audibly, it increases in value and quality. Thank you, Andy.
My favorite part is that it's a picture of a dog.
It's It's a painting of a dog that looks just, it's terrible.
This
is the worst fucking thing.
This has been done by a kid finger painting. And then you walk up to it and you kind of sarcastically be like, oh, yeah, that's a good painting. And then the next time, oh, this looks like a student has, painted it. They're not great, but they're learning. You're like, wow, I guess that's a good painting now. It seems better at least. And then the next time it's Picasso, by which I mean only marginally better than a student's painting.
This is my favorite item I've ever read off of this list because it's the most harmless, no grand implications here. The fact that it says it greatly increases in value and quality is number one. That's just art. That's just, it's not magical.
It's not like the person who, is saying it is like, wow, that has gotten better. Just if some passerby walked by, they would be like, is that painting worth 20 more gold than it was the last time I saw it?
A real picture of Dorian Gray, I say again, as a man who never read that book.
Also, I need to point this out now because I did have to edit that episode. Not called Picture of Dorian Gray.
I know. It's a photo of Dorian Gray.
Yeah, exactly. It's selfie of Dorian Gray. We got that. We got a turtle who just...
We got a quickie turtle.
Just loves to freeload.
Grandpa Jortle. And he wears jorts now, I've decided. And they are part of this menagerie that an extraplanar entity, a elder deity, has just scooped him up, and he's going to run him through a gauntlet, and only one can survive. Is the dog painting the prize?
I think the dog painting is the entity.
Ben, I know that was a joke, and I believe we have to run with that.
It wasn't a joke. It's all like you're going into rooms and you end up back in this one central room that is just the dog painting. And the dog painting is the guy who puts you here.
Perfect. No need to flesh that one out any further. So yeah, you can hear the dog painting's voice calling out to you as you're plucked onto its little, like, kind of, I guess, spaceship or some area out of space and time. For inspiration, consider something akin to, I don't know, the back rooms, where it's just like endless office floors with fluorescent lights and no doors. I
actually love that. Can we make it that? Can we make it just this office space? Not even medieval. Just an office space that's endless.
No windows, just kind of flickering fluorescent lights and all that. I'm madly in love with this. So in the back rooms, hosted and sponsored by a dog painting that grows in value the more it's complimented.
The adventurers wake up and all they see is a dog painting. That's hilarious.
Like on an easel?
Yeah. Oh, it
in
is
like a beige off-white room.
It's on an easel. I don't know why that's so great to me, but just it's not even hung up.
Like an undecorated Animal Crossing room, and the only thing you've got is your little dog painting just set right in the middle of the room.
Oh, that's great.
It's like that. I don't. This picture must have been floating around timelessly, but like someone's Animal Crossing basement had like the dank dungeon cobblestone wall, a folding chair, a box of tissues, and a painting of Carlton from Fresh Prince. That's all it had. A timeless picture, I say. Okay, so what are some of the obstacles? What is the gauntlet he puts them through?
In this liminal office space, the elder, I should say they, I don't think this elder entity of a portrait of a dog that gains value and quality as you compliment it could possibly be gendered. So
but Ben, I ask you, who's a good non-binary elder deity trapped in a painting?
I don't think he's trapped. I think he is the painting. I think they are the painting.
They found their true self in there. I've thought of a premise kind of similar to this, where like basically a powerful creature's running a game show gauntlet. Because it's not an original idea. I've seen it for countless things. Adventure Zone had a pretty good arc for it.
It's an episode of Doctor Who.
Is it?
Yeah, first season.
I wouldn't know. I'm an American. I was too busy watching CSI Miami. Some ideas for that, if you're willing to get a little game showy with it, is to like treat it very. Each room is kind of arcadey and has almost for example, room with a spiked floor and a flooded ceiling, like flooded from floor to ceiling. You were popped into it or maybe dropped in through a chute, and you have a time limit before you kind of run out of air. Or maybe you're in a room that's fast filling. Let's just kind of take all the complexity of it. Mm-hmm. You're in a room that is fast filling with water. There is a wide array, let's say like 6 or 7 giant comical corks in the floor. And you have to find whichever one of them you unplug to drain the room, but there's only one of them that drains the room, and the other 6 are little tentacles pop out when you pull the cork out or something. So you gotta deal with underwater combat, holding your breath, the guessing game, the fun guessing game there. What are some other like quirky, I don't know, game showy kind of challenges like that?
Do we have I was gonna say Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? I don't know how that would work. I guess you could do trivia, but
yeah,
that's
like if you've been running for this group for a while, you know, and this is like a weird off session. I don't know. You could have some in-world lore there. Be especially funny if you had like a cleric with legend lore or something prepped. But
or you know what would be more fun for trivia is weakest link. Where
for people who aren't familiar, explain that.
From what I know of the weakest link,
I love that you don't even fully know the tried and true for the show.
We can't talk about anything we really know for sure. I'm gonna go back to photo of Dorian Gray here. No, so from what I know of the weakest link, it's trivia where it's going down the line, and then the way you could incorporate it into D&D is it like asks everyone a question, but then if you answer it wrong, you take damage, and then you die, I guess, because it's a tabletop RPG. And that's just how that works. If you take too much damage, you're dead.
Yeah, that's just how like tabletops work. That's how real world works.
Mm-hmm. That's how it works in the weakest link, and that's why no one wants to play that game.
No, of course not. What about... There's that like statistics problem where like you have 3 doors, one of them has a goat.
Monty Hill? I think it's Monty Hall.
Monty Python door problem, where you want to open the door with the goat.
There's the Monty Python door problem in which there are 3 doors, 2 of them have pythons and one of them has goats.
And they show you what's behind one of the doors and like, no, you pick a door, but you're given a chance to pick another door. And for some reason, you're supposed to take that option, but I never understood why.
I could explain it to you. I'm not going to, because...
Would it be funny, Ben?
No,
would it be hilarious?
Funny.
Good call then. Could we just have that conundrum? Could that be one of the things? And like, what if all 3 doors had goats?
What if all 3 doors had pythons?
Wait a minute. What if you're trying to flip side? There are 3 doors. 2 of them have goats. One of them does not. You desperately do not want to open the goat door.
They're angry
that
goats.
Goat deals obscene psychic damage to you if you see it.
Oh, what if they're like interdimensional goats? And you open the door and the goat's just like, did you remember to turn off your oven? Have you ever remembered to turn off your oven? Is your oven ever truly off? And then you take 1 billion psychic damage.
Open one of the doors and one of the goats is a disembodied goat head floating against a black void. And when you open that door, just begin to read Matthew Broderick's entire IMDb page at your players until one of them shuts the door.
Why have we
and I want you to put like
that?
some very sharp ambient music in the background, just some ringing.
Why have we never done that?
Do that to your players. What else?
I take a book and just read the first word of every page, but read it authoritatively.
I like the idea of like putting them through a trial that is just as easy as like a picture of the player. So you know those animal like the beef cutting diagrams of like the cow cut up into different. Just like take one of those, but it's a diagram of each player,
and you ask them which part of their body would taste the best.
Yes.
I think we need one of these challenges needs to incorporate this very fast turtle. And I think it's got to be some race thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think you've got a...
Race as in running a race, not as in only a turtle can get through this.
What I'm thinking is you get your remaining PCs lined up against an equal number of opponents, and they have to decide which one of them races against one of the opponents. The idea being it's only a 1v1, so you got to save your best for whoever you suspect is going to be the fastest.
A lot of people, their absolute first impression would be that turtle's going to be suspiciously fast.
Yeah, and you know what? Good on them. And anyone who gets beaten by the tortoise is turned into a hare.
So now we're doing like 4 different psych outs here.
We are. We've decided to get incredibly weird with this. Do we want to pitch a couple not incredibly weird ones?
Sure. I've remembered that this is interdimensional, and I just had a very disturbing idea, which is, you know that bit in Wipeout where they have to jump across the big red balls and they always fall?
Yeah.
I imagine that, but instead of big red balls, they're planets. Well, but wait, they're planets, and you're like, well, these are just models of planets. But no, the first time someone jumps across them, every time they take a step on a planet, you hear screams of the people on the planets below.
Oh, Lord.
This is just disturbing at this point. I mean, that's the planet wipeout course in which you are just destroying countless lives is one of the things in this dungeon. But also one of the saddest things, I think.
The prompt says it's decided to kidnap them and run them through a dungeon of terror and geometric madness for its entertainment. And when I think geometric madness, I've been reaching for inspiration from a movie called Cube and then Hypercube. And I've failed to find anything because I don't remember anything about those movies. They were awful. No. So maybe for geometric terror, just make them watch Hypercube.
That is one of that has to be one of the rooms is where you just put on a movie and then you go back to tabletop as if nothing has happened.
Hey, are you guys trying to fake your deaths and get it so that there's nobody who wants to ask any questions about you? Do this to your players. You will lose all of your friends that night. I need you guys to try Dungeons & Dragons just once. I know you don't get it, but try it with me. Get everyone you love in your life to play this, and you will burn every bridge you've ever had.
So I think we need to figure out what obviously there is the final fight between the players themselves, but what is the big finale here that precedes that?
It's got to be, and then there was one, because there can only be one victor.
Well, sure, but is it just going to be a big battle royale of everybody that's there? Because it says that the elder deity is doing this for their entertainment, right?
Correct.
So maybe what they have to do is if they don't want to kill each other, is just find a way to be as boring as possible.
Oh, yes. If they bore him, maybe he's so impressed, he flips back. It's like an integer. He gets flipped back around to being impressed again. It's like, you know what? I've seen everything, and I didn't even think you could bore me. Wonderful. You may leave.
They could explain the intricacies of the Monty Hall problem to each other.
And he's just like, all right. You have 3 wishes. And that's it. Ben, is this the best episode we've ever recorded?
It's either the absolute best or the absolute worst. But we do need a name.
I'm thinking the dog days are eternal.
Spencer, I think that might be better than mine, which was just... What about Interdimensional Big Brother?
Yeah, yeah. We're going to go with that. Thank you for choosing One Shot, One Quill.
Or wait. Big Brother, in space.
No, I'm going to dial it. No, I'm going to step back one. I'm going to step back one.
We got to cut that one out.
Thank you for choosing One Shot, One Quill. There were other podcasts.
Oh, okay.
And you chose this one. I will leave that to you if it was a mistake today.
For better or worse, you chose this one on this day.
Only editing will tell truly how bad this one was. Ben, do you want to thank the people?
Yeah, thanks to all of you who have been sending in suggestions and reviewing us on iTunes. Believe it or not, that matters. I still don't believe it, honestly. If you want to send us suggestions like Andy did, he was the one that we mentioned in this episode, you can do so by tweeting at us or direct messaging us on Twitter at DNDpod. That's DNDPOD. All of those were D's, except for the P. Our theme song is Ella Tavera del Goulier by Morgan the Bard. Stream the rest of his music. I actually don't know if it streams.
I don't think it does, actually. It's on YouTube, though.
It's on YouTube. It's on Internet Archive. I know that.
Ben, I've never meant this more than I mean it right now. Is it too late to restart this one?
That was a weird one.